talk to someone on the cell phone, their voice keeps breaking up. And so I don't know if you suggested something, but I was considering taking it in, but my husband said, well, they're going to charge you just to look at it. You might as well just get a new cell phone. It's just a Samsung. And so I just waited a bit, and then it occurred to me to restart it just for the heck of it. And then I had my sister test it, and it was working fine. But then recently it was breaking up again. So I said, okay, everybody, if you want to talk to me, call me on my home phone or text me. That's the only way we can do this for now. But I got a surprise call from my sister-in-law yesterday on my cell phone. And we talked for 10, 15 minutes and her voice was clear as a bell. So I said to my husband, that's weird, it's working again. So just to make sure, let's test it at home. So he took the home phone and called my cell, and his voice kept breaking up. I do not understand. And I'm not asking for suggestions. So I think I'll just go with what he said, and eventually I'll get a new phone, because
Well, I was
like 2 years before you call a phone old now, or what? It's probably 3 or 4. I don't know.
Yes, it's unfortunate that they don't last longer than they do. They should make them longer lifespans. But
Yeah.
I was just Googling to see if there was any quick fixes. It sounds like, and which I would have guessed as well, it seems more a signal issue than anything else. But if you are able to call within your house and before, and it's just now having issues, I doubt it's a signal issue. It also suggests that the SIM card in your Samsung might be damaged. I don't know if you have a physical.
And that's the thing I was going to ask next, because remember a couple of phones ago, it dropped in the water. And so tried all the drying out, and eventually got a new phone, put the SIM card in my new phone. So I'm wondering if it's from previous damage.
The other third option was water damage. So that would make sense.
Yeah. So what do you suggest if that could be the problem?
If it's the SIM card, it would be easier than fixing the phone itself. You could just whoever your carrier is, if it's AT&T or Verizon or whoever, T-Mobile, go to them and ask for a new SIM card.
Phone.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if they have stores that you can go to get a new SIM card, but and
then what do I do? Just replace it? Do I have to do anything with the new SIM card, or?
So yeah, it sits in your phone, and if you take it to this, if they don't have a store, maybe Best Buy or someone can help. If you have their service, it just pops out of your phone with like a little hole.
Yeah, my son can do it, and I saved the little pin, the special pin.
Yeah, he could do it. Just take it out, put in the new one, and it should work. As long as that the port on the inside of the phone didn't get damaged with it, the SIM card, that would be the only issue. But if it's as easy as the SIM card, as long as the SIM card didn't do anything to the phone hardware, but then that would mean replacing the phone.
Yeah, I'll look into that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question from a previous session that I watched. You were talking about, I think Bob was talking about switching contacts from one phone to another phone. And I'm not sure, are my contacts, when I save it, it says save to your phone or saved. Originally the other phone, it said save to the SIM card or save to the phone. Was that an option before, and is that still an option?
It should still be.
Well, but if I say save to my, and so I didn't have from phone number 1 to phone number 2, I'm now on phone number 3. From phone 1 to 2, it didn't, because I had said, I guess I didn't say save to an account or save to a phone so that the contacts weren't saved. But now my contacts are all in my Gmail account. And does that mean it's not in the SIM card, or does that So I don't understand what the difference is.
So if it's saved in the cloud with Google, it means that you have access to your contacts on other devices if you switch
But if
over.
I, but if
Right.
if it's saved in my account, is that automatically in the cloud? Because I never said save it in the cloud, but that's what it does when you say save it to your Gmail account, it puts it in the cloud.
I'm guessing if it's labeled Google account, that's what it is. Without researching it, I'm just that wording makes me think that it's cloud-based because that
Okay.
Google's all cloud-based.
Okay.
If it's saved on the SIM card, it's the physical card itself, which if that gets damaged,
Yeah.
then it's all those contacts are gone forever, right?
Yeah, I think probably what was with the first one, when it was a track phone, the SIM card was a better thing to save it on, because if you took a SIM card to another phone, you could do that. Whereas that was before you could just be in cloud, probably.
Mhm.
Okay, thanks.
And that's why when everybody had flip phones, and if they didn't transfer their SIM card, they'd always have to, ask for your contact info again.
Okay.
There are pros and cons of doing it both ways, right?
Well, I mean, are you gonna keep the same SIM card your whole life? Do you keep transferring your SIM card to each new phone?
Theoretically, you could, but I'm sure there's new technology that's
Yeah.
added in the SIM card, right? That
Yeah.
will either make it faster or easier to drop calls or vice versa. And I know they do now eSIM cards, which are all digital. They're not even a physical device anymore. Which is like even mind-boggling to me. How is do that? And I'm sure at some point they'll just stop using them if they're going eSIM cards.
I see Ted, Chuck is still frozen.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
He's-
You're just gonna have to deal with me this way because I don't know of any, I can't figure out how to make it go away.
I know, it's okay.
Oh, there it is.
I do have some updates if it's not anybody else's turn.
Go for it.
All right, well, first of all, the hard drive situation, the G drive. I searched it out and got contact with Western Digital, who is the parent company for SanDisk, who makes the drive. And I've had 3 or 4 conversations with the guy named Eric. And the first thing he said to me was, I would like for you to send me scans or pictures of the error codes. Okay, so I grabbed disk utility first aid again, hooked up the drive and ran first aid expecting an error message. And first aid performed its job on the drive completely. Went through the entire process, deemed it working perfectly. So I thought, okay. So I plugged it into Time Machine, the drive, and told it to scan the hard drive, which it did. 27 minutes later, it deemed it done. This was Tuesday.
Yeah.
It updated yesterday, and it's set to automatically back up at 10:09 a.m. in the morning, and it is currently doing that right now. So I sent an email back to this guy, and I said, I said, explain to me what's going on. You know, this drive didn't work worth a darn the other day when I tried to go through the disk utility and all that kind of stuff. And now today it did. Can you explain to me why that's going on? And he says, well, it sounds like this is a faulty drive potentially.
Move it and then start from
We
scratch.
would recommend testing the drive on a different computer or testing a different drive on the same computer to see if first aid acts the same way. All right, so if I hook up another drive and run it on first aid, run first aid on it, is it going to do anything to the data that's on the drive?
It shouldn't.
'Cause
Keyword
I have several
shouldn't.
other hard drives, you know.
Theoretically, if it goes according,
Yes, that didn't sound too convincing.
I know, I mean,
Well, it should have.
that was kind of my thought also. The good news, the drive is still under warranty until March of 25. So if it plays games with me again, I have a feeling they'll replace it for me free.
Mhm.
So I think right now I'm just gonna bide my time and see how long it continues to behave. It's only June of 23, so I've got a year and a half at least that to give it plenty of time to do its thing. So as
Hmm.
far as that goes, I think I'm okay there.
Yay.
For the moment, my fingers are crossed. You can't see that, but my fingers are crossed that all is well. It's still doing this current backup. It's got 2 minutes to go, but this would be the third day in a row that it's working.
But Chuck, you do know that it will run beautifully until the day after the warranty expires, right?
Oh, I think if it's faulty, it'll go before then, but I hear what you're saying. You're right. But I think if there is some faultiness to it, it'll go long before that because it already started.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a matter of time at this point. And if it gets me a new drive, so be it. The other thing, Lynn,
Mhm.
the other ongoing saga.
Yeah.
I tried to airdrop pictures to my iPad. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Would you like me to show you?
Sure.
Now, you know it's gonna work now.
No, it won't. No, it won't. I can promise you that.
Oh, okay.
All right, I can promise you that. I've tried on more than one occasion. That's how I know. All right. Now, let's see. Let me get to the top of this. All right. Okay, here's some of the pictures. Surely you'll recognize some of these.
Yes.
All right, so the instructions is to right click or control click on the picture, choose share and airdrop. Right?
Mhm.
All right. Now this little picture comes up, which I hope you can see.
Mhm.
Yep.
And nothing's happening.
With the double click.
So I've double clicked on that, which I haven't now that, all right, now you're right. This one's gonna work. Of course it is. There it is. Okay, that one's done. Let's try another one. Let's try this one. It's funny. See there, I get this little sentence, which doesn't stick around very long. Doesn't stick around long enough for you to read it anyway.
Mhm.
And now it says it's done. And it hasn't done anything.
I never saw the word done come up, but it looked like you only clicked it once. The double click?
I'll probably have to start over now.
And do you know there's a shorter, easier route to get to the airdrop than going through the right click like that?
I don't, but I'd be happy for you to tell me. See, I double clicked and it went straight to done.
Mm.
I've never seen done pop up when I shared something through AirDrop.
Yeah, we
No.
never, oh, there
I
it
just
goes.
double clicked again and now it looks like it's going, even though it says it's done. All right, yep, I just got that picture.
Chuck, it showed that done sign when it still had all those words that disappeared in a hurry.
I know.
Yeah, and I couldn't catch all that
No.
wording.
No, the words aren't there long enough to do anything or to let you know what it is. Now watch what happens. All right, double click and there's done.
Now just sit there for a minute. Or did you have to double click the last time again?
I double clicked the second time before.
Double click.
That done button at the bottom is not, you're done airdropping. It's not done like the thing is done. But I don't know why double clicking it's not sending it.
Yeah, I've double clicked 4 times now and it's not sending this picture at all.
Mhm.
And what's the shortcut, Lynn?
So up at the top of that banner bar,
All right.
there's a share symbol to the left. That guy. AirDrop. You could add it as only an AirDrop option right there. I don't know why it's not doing it for that one. If you do multiple images with that one, like if you right click, if you do that one and the photo in above or below it, will it
Well,
take?
that was another question I wanted to ask you is can I airdrop more than one at a time? Because this is going to be
Yes.
a tedious process because you have to understand, I have 8 folders and probably 50 or 60 pictures per. Now, I don't have
Okay.
room on my iPad for all of them.
You
but-
could do Command A and do it for all of them.
All right, let's try
You
to.
could send a whole folder of 60 pictures at one time, Lynn.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
I tried it.
Well,
I can.
I
I've-
sent multiple pictures, but I've never sent more than like 4 or 5 at a time. I didn't know you
I've
could
sent
send a
hundreds.
larger.
I sent the whole folder or tried to send the whole folder first and I just kind of figured that wasn't going to happen. All right, let's see. To share to someone's iOS, ask them to open Control Center and turn on AirDrop. On a Mac, ask them to
iPad.
go to AirDrop on the in the Finder. All right, we're all on. I don't know what the problem is here. Okay.
Is your iPad open?
Yep.
I don't understand.
Makes a bunch of us. I'm about ready to just say no to this project because it just doesn't seem like it wants to be easy to do.
Someone's not gonna be happy if you say no.
It's going to be get over it, please. Well, I don't have enough space on my iPad for all these pictures in order to enable me to project them onto a TV. And if I can't do more than one at a time, like I got 2 sitting here right now and nothing seems to be happening.
Mhm. Can you close out of this and go to the AirDrop on the sidebar? Screw up to your
Okay.
favorites.
I am up as far as I can go.
Oh, you don't have your favorites all listed?
Oh, there they are. Okay.
Click
But
on AirDrop there.
there. Okay.
So why do you see it there? That makes no sense.
Mm-hmm. It didn't
Okay.
make much sense that first aid work didn't work last week either, but here we are again with another another project.
Right. And as soon as you leave today, it's going to work for you.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to dump a bunch of pictures off of my iPad to make room for more of these to transfer, but
Mhm.
I'm not gonna have enough space on here for all the pictures that she wants to be able to show her dad. I mean,
Mhm.
and I ordered a device that plugs into my lightning port that has a USB port on the side. And I plugged the flash drive into it.
Mhm.
And I had no luck transferring the photos from the flash drive to the iPad.
Does her dad have a USB port on his TV? You could just plug the USB in.
He is the exact, that's the interesting thing. He is the exact same TV that I have. And I've already tried the flash drive in the USB ports on my TV, and that was where this whole problem started.
Right.
Some of the pictures projected and some of them did not.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I've been looking for alternative ways to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the history of that whole project.
Right.
So if they all projected off the flash drive
And worked.
and worked, I wouldn't have a problem. I wouldn't be bugging you about this, because if it works on my TV, it's going to work on his because they're identical. We bought them at the same time. But unfortunately, that is not happening, much to my chagrin. And I was just checking the update. It's done.
It's done.
All right, so I can get rid of that. Everything's cool there. But I just don't understand why some of these pictures go and some don't, and I can't do more than one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say I think the project is going to be on permanent hold for a long time here, because I can't figure out alternatives. If it was as simple as projecting them off of a flash drive, I wouldn't have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck, do you think there's any possibility that it might work on his
So I
TV,
sent
even though
an
it
email
doesn't on
or
yours?
text to both the kids.
There's an outside chance that it might, but I don't know why it would.
Well, who knows? There could be something that got
Yeah.
damaged in yours or something that
It's-
his has got,
It's
or,
worth a try. I mean, it's a brand new flash drive. It's 64 gigabytes. It's got plenty of room. Well, actually, all of the photos are on it. Right now, it's just a matter of plugging it into the USB port. And I have like 3 of them on the side of my machine that are not being used, and I've tried them all. He'll have 4 because I have something else in one of my ports, but it's, you know, it's craziness that it doesn't do what the anticipation is that it's gonna do or should do.
does
Mm-hmm.
something else in one of your ports have some problem with it, have something to do with not letting it work?
Well, I've tried all the ports. I've put my flash drive in all 4 of the ports, and it doesn't change the outcome.
Hmm.
Will it be any different on my father-in-law's TV? To be honest with you, I doubt it, but you know, there's no reason I can't try it.
Yeah, right. And if it works, wow.
Because she just wants to show him the pictures, whether
Right.
he's at our place and watching it on our TV or at his place looking at it on his.
Oh,
But those are the only 2 alternatives that seem to be useful right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
I don't know, Lynn.
there's always the old fashioned way, and I can bring my photo album along down over the 4th.
Well, Beth's not printing them out anymore, so that,
I know, I have mine printed out and they're in an album, so that's an option.
if you want to bring it down on the 4th of July weekend, that's fine. But it's not working.
At least you could see some pictures.
True.
I'd also be curious, the 2 you just airdropped that were misbehaving. You don't have to put all of them on, but are those 2 particular showing up now on the TV?
All of the pictures that I was playing with there are in the no folder that don't show up on TV. I remember a while back, I made up a folder of yes, they project, and no, they don't.
Mhm.
Those were all out of the no folder.
I'd be curious for you to try those 2 files. You don't have to you don't have to try all of them, just try 1 or 2.
Okay. No harm there.
Because why bother even putting all of them on if it doesn't work,
Oh,
right?
I've pretty much decided that I'm not even going to bother to try anymore. It just doesn't seem to be practical to me to do that.
You don't have a laptop, do you? You just have the iPad and the
I have an old,
ooh, he's moving.
oh, I'm moving. I restarted my video. I have an old MacBook Pro. And when I say old, I mean old. Right now, it's not even receiving
updates.
email. No
Mm.
email. I can't get email on it. So, yes, I have one, but no.
No, it's not a good option to use to plug into a
Right.
TV with the HDMI cable.
I tried using the flash drive on Bev's HP computer and casting it to the TV, but that didn't seem to want to play right either. This whole thing is just annoying.
And you didn't try Bev's HP with an HDMI cable?
I did not, but I'm not sure that she has an HDMI port on her
Okay.
laptop. I'd have to double check that. I don't know.
Most Dell or PCs still come with an HDMI port, but not all of them.
I don't know. I'll have to double check that one because I have no.
That's for
no-
rolling over to check to see if we have one of these.
What's that?
There's like 3 of us leaning over to see, do we have an HDMI port? That
No,
was funny.
You know, I don't have an HDMI port on my MacBook Air, but I do have a little short thingy that plugs into the C
Mhm.
drive or whatever drive this is that has an HDMI port on it, so I still can use it as such.
yeah.
So if she has a USB-C cable, she could borrow Connie's adapter.
Well, your laptop is newer than mine, so it would,
Well, I have the old one too. I have one that goes into a regular USB that was when I was using my old, my,
that's like
laptop.
my MacBook Pro right now. It has USBs.
yeah,
But
well, this thing will
that's-
plug into that too.
This
So-
is. the extent of it.
I would not do it on that piece or that iMac. Or that MacBook. I would do Bev's
Yes, laptop,
yeah.
right, yeah, or HP. But yeah, I have both of those, so if we have choir tonight, I will bring it. The
I'm
older,
not sure I'm going.
well, we're not any of us sure we're going, right?
Well, I'm wondering if he's gonna be smart and postpone it to Saturday morning, but he's gonna have to try to get the praise band to be there. Cause I think he wants them at the rehearsal tonight.
Hmm,
They're part of the program. I've
yeah,
kind of decided that I have to wear a mask, that if I have to wear a mask, which I do, to take the dog for a walk, I'm not coming out to sing tonight.
right. It's gonna be worse tonight than it is now.
Yeah, but it's gonna be great in the church, though.
What's that?
Yeah,
It's
but you
gonna-
gotta get into the church.
And you
Right.
gotta get there.
You gotta get there, but once you're in the church, we could all sleep over till Sunday.
I don't know.
Thankfully, this is supposed to start to clear by tomorrow into Saturday. And by Sunday should be out of here pretty much.
Well, and then Monday, it's gonna rain like crazy, so it'll all really go away.
Hopefully. There's
There's chances some scattered showers tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. So that'll start the process, but it's not gonna finish it.
It's been nasty.
So it'll be interesting to see how many people do make it to choir tonight. If they have it.
There's the
Where
weather,
did it-
that's the color of the weather map.
Yeah,
And it's some of a thinking around Care for Creation.
Mhm.
And that is the paperless society and all the institutions that now want you to sign up for paper-free reports and all that. And I find that if I sign up, I end up printing out so much on my home printer instead of letting them do it.
Exactly.
And I print out a lot of stuff like bills paid online. I print receipts and things because I guess I don't just trust technology 100%. And I know that the one thing that lasts a long time is a printed piece of paper. Whereas things like 8-track and floppy disks and all that eventually go away and get replaced with other technology. And then you find yourself with a bunch of stuff you can't use anyway. So I don't know how you all feel about that. If you do the same thing I do and go ahead and keep things getting sent to you in a printed form. Or if you find yourself printing a lot on your home printer. when you opt into, paper free.
If I
Um,
get in a situation where the store asks me if I want a printed receipt or an email receipt, I ask them for a printed receipt all the time. I want to walk out of there with it in my hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily trust the fact that it's always gonna get sent to me unless I stand there in the store and wait for it to arrive, on my phone or something to guarantee that I get it before I leave
Right.
the store. That's my attitude on it. I mean, I don't know how some of the other people here think, but I want to have the copy in my hand. We're the kind of people that save receipts,
I do too.
and tally them up on the printout when it comes from the credit card company to confirm that we're paying for what we've bought.
Yeah, I log them into Quicken, and then when I do a reconciliation at once a month, I'm looking for the thing I logged in from the receipt to match up with what I'm getting from the credit card companies or the bank, really, in this case.
Mhm.
So,
I do a couple of things because, well, ink's getting more expensive for one
Mhm.
thing.
yeah,
When I'm printing something out, if it's just for my own purpose, I will, my husband had this idea. We keep a stack of things, old pieces of paper, and we'll print on the other side until we don't need that anymore.
mhm,
If I'm ordering something online, I do two things. When I get confirmation of the order, I'll put that in my email special folder that just says orders. And then I can check that, and if it's something for us and it's here, fine. Everything went through, it took it from my credit card and all of that. If it's being sent to someone, then I can track it and see if they got it, and they always tell me when they did. What was the other thing I do? I'm finally paying my bills online. And so when I get a confirmation number, I'll just write that on a piece of paper and stick that in with my checkbook or whatever. And and then I'll check the next day to make sure it went through. Then I don't need to print out a paper to say it did that. So I don't know if that'll help you. That's the way I do it.
well, for me, it's a matter of attitude. Am I being overly cautious? Am I doing it because I've always done it that way instead of getting into the new groove of keeping it all electronic? I don't know. I'm trying to think through what's, optimally the best way to go with it. Or if I'm being too cautious, then change.
Most credit cards keep copies of your bills for 7 years because that's how long you need them for the IRS.
Right.
You can always sign into your online to your credit card and get a copy or look at a copy if you want to do that. We don't, well, we still got our cell phone bill because I told them I wanted to do it online and they're still sending it to me, but we don't get any bills in the mail.
I don't get many. Doctors are the worst. For doctors' bills are a lot of paper because many of them don't have an alternative.
Right,
They're just not that big and set up that way.
right.
Mm,
Well, we get
I-
a printout every month from United Healthcare, because that's what Ericsson Advantage is. That shows every one of our things and it's kind of scary what the charges are, what they actually pay, and what
Yeah.
we may or may not
Mhm.
owe. And that's a lot of paper every month, but I got a bill from physical therapy, which I should not have gotten, for a copay because we don't have a copay. And the person that they had billed under was out of network. So Ericsson called United Healthcare and they said, go back to them and tell them they have to resubmit the bill under the name of the person who is in network.
Mhm.
So, we can keep track, but
Yeah, some of those things like Medicare and in my case, Aetna, that you get once a month are huge.
Yeah.
And a lot of it on the back, if you go through the pages you get, the last few pages are boilerplate. They're different translations. And
Mhm.
oh yeah,
Stuff
those
that
are our
I peel
first,
off
those are our
right
first
off.
pages, not the last ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, well,
You don't have to print them.
right.
I would also say, it's maybe generational too, because like I grew up, everything was digital, when I started coming into adulthood and doing this. So I have folders on my computer of bills saved electronically. I don't print them out and put them in binders or things like that. So there's
Yeah.
other things too.
I probably should move more, move more in that direction.
But then there's the risk of, hackers and malware and stuff. But if you have the folders privacy protected, you should be safe. But I'd say medical bills are the one most challenging too, because I've got an FSA card and that's where I tend to get paper stuff from the doctor's office.
Yeah. Eventually, they'll probably be forced to go the way of everything else, as time moves on. But it's a slow process for a small operation.
Well, the other thing with all the digital stuff to worry about is in my situation, it's only a backup drive, but what if your hard drive crashes and, all that stuff you've got stored on a digital device somewhere is sayonara, it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was thinking in those terms, going over to Windows 11, I want to make darn sure I've got everything backed up.
Yeah.
Before I start the process, and make sure it's complete. There used to be a standard thing about backups that you don't have a backup unless you've tested it and actually know that it works as a backup, and that's a lot of effort to do that.
Mhm.
And do you have a cloud-based Quicken account? Because I've got that
Yes.
where, if I can view that kind of stuff in different locations if I need to and on different devices. Not that I do because I don't want to, but
I've probably got more backup copies of Quicken on different devices because there's one thing I don't want to lose. It's that.
right.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that I'm not so worried about, my history of all my finance stuff, because it's all cloud-based. There are pros and cons to that, but
Well, I have a little drive that I keep. It's relatively little in today's terms. That's strictly Quicken. I make sure I update on it before I travel or spend any time offline. I have the cloud-based, and I don't know what else, but Quicken's pretty well covered. So yeah, if there's one thing I don't want to lose, it's all that.
good things to think about.
Yep.
Any other comments about that discussion or another discussion?
Well, just so you know, the smoke has reached North Carolina, Ocean Isle Beach. There's no escaping it.
Not till it rains on Monday.
Hopefully.
Sounds like a pretty good storm system coming in on Monday to give us a lot of rain and cleaning. I guess we can only hope.
Well, so what will that do? Wash it all on our roofs and our houses and everything, so it's all streaked? No.
It'll wash it